What's up, everybody? Episode 11 here. I'm going to show you a couple things. I got the Santa hat. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I think we're 2-3 days out from Christmas, and getting some work done in the garage. I'm finally on Christmas break, not working. I got a bunch of days off, so hopefully I'll get a bunch of progress done on the car. We're gonna have the furnace going because last night while I was welding, I turned it off because the air movement messes with the weld, and it's freezing in here. I didn't turn it off all the way. It only got down to about 45, but it's still pretty cold compared to what I normally keep it at in here. So I'm gonna clip in a section of how I measured the overall height of the tires. And the reason why that measurement's important is so that I have something consistent to go off of when I'm doing this jig that I'm about to show you guys. And so basically what I came out to is about 28 and a quarter is what the tire height is, with 16 PSI and no weight on it. Judging off of a few vehicles that I've measured, some people that I've talked to, I can expect the bottom of the tire to the rim to be, I don't remember what the measurement is off the top of my head, but about an inch lower than it is now. So about an inch, the bottom of the tire will be closer to the rim by about an inch. So we're gonna call that like 1 inch of squish. And honestly, that's just a rough measurement. I won't know until this car is on the ground or what that actually is gonna be, but it's just gonna get my tires in the car as close as possible. The wheel tubs will be mounted higher than they need to be. There should be enough movement in the 4-link system to compensate if I'm off by a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch on that. There should still be plenty. And if there's not, then you know there's ways to fix it down the road if I need to. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop that clip in here of how I measured that. All right, so I got the tire up on here, and I mentioned in the episode 9 about measuring the overall height of the tire. Now, originally I had said 29 inches. I hadn't measured it yet. I was assuming that the hump from it being aired up would account for a little bit more than it does. And I think it's because I have a 14-inch wide wheel, which stretches it out a little bit more and kind of pulls it down. So I want to show you how I measured it real quick. So I got this jig here. This square tubing setup is going to be basically replacing my clamp and shelf deal here. So it'll be up on some risers, and it will hold the tires exactly where I need them to be. So I got this jig kind of just sitting here up off of my workbench on my Genuine Metals little 90s there. And what I did is I took my angle finder, okay, and I zeroed it on this tube, and then I put it on the wheel hub. And I just used some gloves to stabilize the tire from tipping this way, and I got it dialed in at 90 degrees. Then I put my level up here, and you can see we're 0. We're sitting nice and level. I got my glove sitting up there, and then I took measurements from this side and this side down to the bench. And I got 30.5 inches from the surface to the bottom of the level, which is sitting at the top of the crest of the tire. All right, and then I just kind of stacked up some metal and slid it underneath to get a rough measurement of under the tire. You can see how close that is. It's within about a 1/16, eighth of an inch. And then I measured that, which was 2 3/8. This was actually a little under that. So, you know, with the tire measurements, if it's within a 1/16, I'm going to call it good. So basically those two minus that, 28 and an eighth. So aired up, not sitting down, 28 and an eighth tall. I just kind of wanted to show you guys how I did that quick measurement. And back to the rest of the video. All right, so you guys got that clip. I hope that kind of shows you guys how I go about measuring something like that. It's really the only easy way that I know because of the way the tire is shaped and everything. and then I have the tires sitting inside the base of that tire stand or tire jig or whatever you want to call it. That way I can get myself accurate measurements and get it in the car. So last night I went and got the tire stand or tire jig, I'll probably just call it tire stand, all set up. And it may be turned into an axle stand later, so I may actually have some things come off the center of this to hold the axle itself without the tires. And basically what I did is I used some 1-inch tubing, and there's actually a funny story about the 1-inch tubing. Is I went to my dad's house to go grab some things, and I was like, you got any scrap metal in the garage? And so we started digging around. I'm like, oh, this 1-inch tubing's perfect. And so I made this jig out of some 1-inch tubing that I found from my dad's house, not paying attention, assuming that it was mild steel. It is 1-inch stainless steel tubing. So I used like 100 inches of expensive stainless tubing to hold my tires. And then it's not magnetic, so I can't hook my magnet to it. Here we are. So I got some 1-inch tubing. I got some 3/4 square. Now originally I was just gonna make some boxes out of 3/4 square and just do like single boxes for each tire. But then I came up with this tubing, and I think this will work way better because now I can have the axle mounted in here too. And then I just had some 2-inch laying around that I just kind of ground a little V groove in, or a little radius in, so it kind of sat in there. And then some flat stock on each side. And what that does is this is going to allow me to slide this up and down so that I can get the angle, the height correct. So all 4 corners will have that tubing. And once I got the axle in there and the tires are exactly where they're at and everything, I'll probably end up just tack welding this to the chassis jig so that I can have my clamps back. But these are super cheap clamps. I think I paid 15 bucks for 4 of them. So I may just buy more and leave those on there, but I really like, once I'm settled on a location, I really like welding something in place if I have the opportunity, if it's not gonna bite me. So if like welding this isn't gonna stop me from building the rest of the car, then I'll probably weld it in. So I got that in there. I don't have it aligned or anything. It's just close. So we got the tires kind of basically exactly where they were last time. I didn't measure them, but again, they're just in there. The wheel's about level with the with this on the car. So they're pretty happy. I'm super happy with how it looks. What we got is from the tire, from right here to right here, is about 31 inches, or I'm sorry, 30.5 inches, which is perfect. I really could not hope for a better measurement there, because a lot of the anti-roll bars, a lot of common measurements for the rear suspension back here is 24-inch rear suspension. So there's a lot of cars that are built based on a 24-inch rear half. So the rear half of the vehicle will be 24 inches, and then that will give me roughly 3 inches on each side of the wheel, which is, it's honestly almost perfect. I'm super happy with the amount of room that I'll have on this side of the wheel, and I'll have 3 inches over here. I can go to like a 29-inch wider wheel down the road if I really needed to, if I ever put like a twin turbo LS in this thing or something crazy, like way down the road. So I'll go 24-inch back half now, which is, I'm just glad that measurement worked out. It doesn't have to be any narrower, because the more narrow that you make that measurement, the closer that back half gets. That's like where your shocks are mounted too. So your shocks start to lose leverage on the suspension system. So really 24 inches is kind of just a good sweet spot to go with. So I also got the door frame on the driver's side cut out. So now we got the meats on both sides. I'm super happy with how everything's playing out. We got the jig exactly where I want it. Not exactly where I want it, but I'll get it exactly where I want it here shortly. I'm going to proceed with cutting out the rest of all this stuff down here, because if you remember on this side, I got most of it cut until about the B pillar. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get all that cut out up to there, up to the A pillars. finish this one off to the A-pillar, and then maybe do some fine trimming, like trim a little bit up there, over here, and then possibly in this area too. You can see that I kind of started making a cut and really wasn't sure how I wanted this to turn out, so I'll probably start cleaning this up and redoing some of it. And then I think I got the back corner over there too. This back corner I never finished off. So this one here, I kind of brought it off, but this stuff right here, I'll probably end up cleaning up and getting rid of. It's gross looking. Looks like the rear quarter. I don't know if I mentioned this in any of my other videos. This car, somewhere along the line, unfortunately, this whole side of it had been reskinned. So this skin right here, this whole skin all the way up to the front here, actually no, to right about here somewhere, we seen the seam. I don't remember where it was, but it had been reskinned, which it's kind of unfortunate, but it looks like it was done well. The job, it's hard to notice unless you're really in there wondering why there's MIG welds instead of spot welds. So there's just little stuff like this that's going to affect me, where I'll probably just end up cleaning this up, grinding it all out, re-welding it and stuff like that. But that was just a quick chat, and I wanted to show you guys how I measured the tire height. I wanted to show you guys the tire stand that I got done. It looks like the axle length from hub to hub is going to be right around 41 and a half inches, somewhere in there. Again, I need to get everything exactly where I want it. I got to take the measurements over here, so I still got to center my wheel well, drop a plumb bob, put the plumb bob back over there, get marks on the jig, get marks on the tire stand, dial in the height of the tire stand. If you check my Instagram, I posted up a CAD screenshot of my CAD program that I did. And basically what I did is I drew the number 1 bar, I drew the ground, the chassis jig, the 4-link front and rear plates, the axle tube, and the tire, and then the proposed links as well. Roughly a 12-inch upper bar and an 18-inch lower bar, and that's what Tin Soldier recommends. So I went ahead and drew that up. You can check that out on my Instagram, and really just trying to get this rear section dialed in. It's going slow, but we're getting there. Hopefully we'll be cutting the axle apart here soon. Hopefully we'll have an axle in there, and then next thing you know, we'll have a number 1 bar, some 4-link stuff, and then the rest of the chassis will start to come together. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll get another video. So today's Thursday. This video will go up Friday morning, and then it looks like Sunday morning, so Christmas morning will be the last video with the Christmas hat. If I'm doing the math right, I think that's correct. It's every other day is my uploads. I know that doesn't keep it on a consistent day. I may eventually switch it to like Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or something like that. But I don't know. Every other day just makes it easy for me. I know that if I hadn't uploaded that day, that I probably need to upload. And it's just been making it easy. So I hope you guys have been enjoying it. We reached 100 subscribers, which I'm so grateful for. Thank you guys. And if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. Hit me up if you got any questions on the build or comments. Thank you very much for tuning in. Merry Christmas.